Welcome back. All right, so 7 games today. What a way to spend my birthday. All right, so it's just a standard day. Just stay home, make videos, and watch hockey for a long time. So 7 games tonight. Some entertaining results, some predictable results out of tonight. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Columbus in against the Buffalo Sabres. So it was Merzlikins versus Tokarski in this one. There's an early chance for Thompson. That deflects out. Krebs deflects one wide as the Sabres were pressing. Voracek had a rush that was defended, but just before the halfway mark of the first period, Roslovic scores from Gavrikov and Fix-Wolansky at 9:05. So Fix-Wolansky in his second game gets his first NHL assist to go with his first goal in the last one. That one goes in off Pesik's skate. The Blue Jackets then get a power play. Pretty strong penalty kill by the Sabres, who do not have a good penalty kill on the season. Did kill that off. Columbus presses after it's over. Werenski aimed for a buzzer beater. That wouldn't go, but it's 1-0 Columbus after 1. Second period. Sillinger has a chance that wouldn't go. Gauntz with a rush chance. That's fired wide. Sabres score, but was it a high stick? So they check. It counts. Is Dahlin from Jokiharju and Thompson at 3:27. And then the Sabres look for the lead. Domi has a net feed. That wouldn't go as Columbus then presses back. Merzlikins denies Asplund. Tuck has a chance this block. Tokarski saves what was a tough deflection. It kind of deflected in on him. It would have been understandable if he wasn't necessarily ready for that. Bjorkstrand with a rush chance. He fires high. Nyquist with a blast that's saved. And then Okposo puts Buffalo in the lead. He scores from Jankowski and Pesek at 18:23. So Pesek, puck goes in off his skate, but then he has a secondary assist on what was a very nice setup by Jankowski to make up for it. Nice one-timer goal by Okposo, and the Sabres wanted more. But we go to the third period with Buffalo up 2-1. It becomes 3-1 quickly. Alex Tuck, who continues to be an excellent find for the Buffalo Sabres, scores from Skinner and Thompson at 12 seconds. Then the Sabres press, and the fans wanted a call on a play that was going on there. Samuelson has a shot that's blocked. There's a press by Columbus at 4 minutes. And Gauntz ends up scoring on a rush from Kukan at 4:48. That is the Brendan Gauntz that was a first-round draft pick of the Vancouver Canucks. I always like to see him in the NHL and see how he's doing. And so, yeah, pretty decent game for him. And it went through Tokarski. So that's one of those ones that Tokarski probably would want back. Columbus then looks to tie it. Sabres get a power play. That's unsuccessful. Columbus gets their second power play of the game, and they score on it. It's Bjorkstrand from Laine and Voracek at 14:25. So Laine stays hot scoring-wise, and Columbus forces overtime. So we go into the overtime, and it doesn't last. Going into it, Columbus 4-0 in overtime, Buffalo 1-6. Make Columbus 5-0, Buffalo 1-7. As Voracek scores his second goal of the season from Werenski and Jenner at 16 seconds. So Columbus wins 4-3. They were down 3-1. They win this one in overtime. They go to 22-22-1 with the overtime loss. Buffalo is 14-24-8. The shots in this one, 14-7 Columbus in the first, 11-10 Columbus in the second, 10-8 Buffalo in the third. In the overtime, Columbus scores on the only shot of the overtime. Final shots, 34-27 for Columbus. Power plays, Columbus 1 for 2, Buffalo 0 for 1. Hits were 19-12 for Columbus. Merzlikins saves 24-27. Tokarski saves 30 out of 34. Yeah, for Buffalo, they get the point, but they don't get the win, obviously. That goes to Columbus, who are back at 500 yet again. We'll see whether or not they can get above it or start to make some headway here. Next up, so Carolina. Now, people are going to point out that Boston was without Bergeron and Marchand. I don't know how much this game changes with them in there. It's Anderson versus Ullmark. You know, Freddie Anderson's numbers against Boston are ridiculous. You would think that maybe he likes playing against Boston and he wants to kind of prove some naysayers wrong about his record against Boston in the playoffs. Obviously not in his time in Carolina. So, early power play for Boston. There's a shorthanded chance for Trocheck. That power play is killed off. The Bruins go back to the power play. Solid penalty kill by the Canes. Boston was 0 for 2 at that point. In fact, the shots favor the Canes 7 minutes into this game, 8-6. So Carolina's getting opportunities, Boston not getting momentum from the power plays. Then the Canes get a power play and they score on it. It's Trocheck from Teravainen and Svechnikov at 8:26. So Teravainen in the lineup, he had a major role in this game tonight. Bruins would try to answer. We then had McAvoy fight D'Angelo. Canes get another power play. It becomes a 4-on-4. everything gets killed off there. Studnicka having a decent game. Not that it overall mattered. 1:53 left. The Canes get their third power play. Trocheck with a wraparound chance. That wouldn't go. And after the first period, it's 1-0 Carolina. So overall, Carolina getting a ton of shots. Eventually, they start going in. Second period, early press by Boston. However, Svechnikov on a turnover. He gets that loose puck. He rifles it in at 2:35. Makes it 2-0. Canes would press at 4 minutes. Things get kind of scrummy around the Canes net. There's a stretch pass to Howla that wouldn't go because Boston had no puck luck tonight. And then it's Aho scoring the third goal for the Carolina Hurricanes from Teravainen and HS at 8:01. Bruins press with 8.5 minutes left. Carolina doesn't appreciate it, so they score again. Pesce scores from Fast and Stahl at 14:02. So that makes it 4-0. Grzelcyk has a chance that's saved and held. There were a lot of opportunities for Boston. Just Anderson was excellent. Third period, Foligno scores. Is it goalie interference? Clearly it was goalie interference, and Canes end up with a power play, and they score on it. It's Aho from Teravainen at 1:58. The shots at 5.5 minutes are 8-3 for Carolina. They would even up a bit as the period goes along, but doesn't matter. Bruins get a power play. There's a shorthanded chance for Stepan that was saved. That power play's killed off. And then Stahl, just to make sure that they get the Cobra Kai No Mercy magnet up there. Stahl scores from Shea at 15:24 to make it 6-0. So yeah, that's another one of those No Mercy magnets. And the Canes press, they get the shutout. Best way to get the shutout, keep the puck in Boston's end. They did. They score 6 in this one. They win 6-0. They go to 32-10-3. Boston drops to 26-16-3. Tough break for them. Shots 18-11 Carolina in the first, 11 apiece in the second, 14-12 Carolina in the third. Final shots 43-34 for Carolina. Power plays, both teams had 4. Carolina scored twice. Boston obviously did not. Hits were 42-32 for Boston. Anderson saves all 34 for his second shutout over Boston this year. Ullmark saves 37 out of 43. So his goals against in this is 6. His save percentage was .860, which isn't great. But considering he allows 6 goals, I didn't think this was on Ullmark. And again, if you put Bergeron and Marchand in the lineup, maybe it's 5-0 instead of 6. Maybe it's 5-1, but either way, yeah, Carolina was not being denied at all in this one tonight. Next up, Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh in against Ottawa. This was a very entertaining game, and it was a very close game for the most part until it wasn't. And I mean, scoring-wise, it stays close, but the play did not. So it's DeSmith versus Murray. So former Pittsburgh goaltender Matt Murray, Casey DeSmith, who's had a rough go here and there. He had a better game tonight. Fast start, chances both ways. The shots 5 minutes into this one were 5-3 for the Ottawa Senators. McGinn was denied. Carter has a tip then that's held. Sanford, net drive for him, that fizzles out. Strong first half for both goaltenders. The Pens get a power play. It was killed off with 0 shots. So the Ottawa Senators, whose penalty kill was tough earlier in the season, has been very good for them lately. Rust can't hit an open net. He had a really good opportunity there, just could not hit the open net. Foreman with a rush chance, that's denied. And in the last minute, there was pressure by the Sens. So it's scoreless after 1. Ottawa was playing well. Second period, back-to-back icings by the Pens as the Senators continue to have a territorial advantage early in that period. Power play for the Pens. There's a shorthanded chance for Gambrell as it ends, but there were 4 shots on goal by Pittsburgh there. And eventually, momentum helps for them. Carter scores from Letang at 7:25, makes it 1-0 for Pittsburgh. Senators get a power play. Carter has a break on that. There's a shorthanded save by Murray that prevents it from being 2-0. Shots are 11-7 for the Penguins with 7 minutes left. Rodriguez then with a rush chance. He fires wide. Gensel was denied on a chance he had on a turnover, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh after 2. Third period. Gensel's denied on his first shift. Carter with a rush chance. That was saved. Paul to Formenton wouldn't go. The combination of Paul, Formenton, and Connor Brown, very good. This line was solid tonight too. Just DeSmith wasn't giving him anything. DeBrusk's over here. Yeah, DeSmith wasn't giving him much of anything tonight. Gaudette with a net feed, that wouldn't go. The shots, though, were 8-3 for the Penguins at the half. So while Ottawa was doing their best, they really weren't getting enough shots. Penguins were limiting those chances, too, later on. They were shot blocking and just getting those turnovers. Crosby had a sharp angle shot that was saved. The Senators pulled the goalie. That allows Pittsburgh to make it 2-0. It's Rust hitting the empty net, making up for the net he didn't hit in the first at 1948 from Crosby and Gensel. And so Pittsburgh wins this one 2-0. They avoid the dreaded trap. They go to 29-11-8 on the season. Ottawa drops to 16-23-4. Your shots, 12-11 Pittsburgh in the first, 13-10 Pittsburgh in the second, 19-5 Pittsburgh in the third. Final shots, 44-26 for Pittsburgh. Power plays, Pittsburgh goes 0 for 2. Ottawa goes 0 for 1. Hits were 39-33 for Ottawa. DeSmith saves all 26 for the shutout. Murray saves 42 out of 43 at the other end. Again, Matt Murray continues this incredible comeback he's been on. His stats have been very, very good. I'd go as far as to say right now, this might be Murray's best regular season run he's had, period, including his runs with the Penguins. So we'll see if that continues, but for Ottawa, it's a setback, but we know they're not making the playoffs. At the very least, they stayed in this game, and they made it tough for Pittsburgh. They didn't make it that easy. All right, next up, last one on this board, Capitals in against Montreal. First game for Marty St. Louis, and I will say this, best game Cole Caulfield, I think, has played all season. So it's Samsonov versus Primo in this one. The Habs press at a minute and a half. Toffoli with a break chance. Couldn't bury there. And then it's Snively with his first NHL goal from Justin Schultz at 5:04. And then 20 seconds later, McMichael, he scores from Eller and Van Riemsdyk. So it's very quickly 2-0 in favor of the Caps. Hathaway at a breakaway, that was saved. There's a power play then for Washington. Schultz has a blast that's saved. That power play's killed off. So the 2-0 lead, really the Caps could have added to it, and they didn't. And I thought Primo recovered okay from that rough start. The Habs get a power play at the half. It's unsuccessful. Caps press with 5.5 minutes left. But we come out of that second period with the score 2-0 for Washington. Second period, Caulfield has a chance that deflects out. And then at 3:40, it's Hagelin. He scores from Favari and Carlson. And that's where you need a save, where Primo's down and the puck just goes over him into the net. So Caden Primo, and I keep hearing in these broadcasts, and remember I'm watching the TSN Montreal broadcast, how, ideally Montreal would like Primo to be developing in Laval, to be developing in the AHL. He has not had that chance because of injuries to Allen. Price hasn't played, and of course you have to have somebody to spell Montembeault, and here we are. Pitlick would score, though, from Anderson and Clegg at 4:09. So 29 seconds after that kind of leaky goal, Montreal does get that back, and Rem Pitlick continues to just score. He's pretty good offensively. But Snively gets it back a little over a minute later from Kuznetsov and Schultz at 5:18, and that would end the night for Caden Primo. In goes Sam Montembeault. So night one for Marty St. Louis, and he sees what a nightmare Montreal's been going through right now. So the Habs get a power play. That's killed off. Wilson has a chance that's saved. The Caps get a power play. So the Habs kill that off, and then they get another power play. So it's a parade in the second period. There's a shorthanded chance, post for Dowd, and then Montreal scores on the power play. And it's Caulfield with his first power play goal in his career in the regular season. He scores from Suzuki and Toffoli at 15:58. And that made it 4-2, and you get the feeling that maybe Montreal can get back into this. Byron nearly adds another, and in the last minute, there's a press by the Habs. So again, some good opportunities there, some signs of improvement. We go to the third, but they are down by 2. Shots are 2-0 for the Habs at 3 minutes. The Habs get a power play. That's killed off. Josh Anderson with a near goal right after that. Dowd had a wraparound chance that wouldn't go. The Habs go back to the power play. It becomes a 4-on-4. Caulfield scores, but it's offside. So Toffoli reaches up to grab the puck. Where his hand was to grab the puck and knock it down was outside the line. So as soon as they showed just the snapshot of him with his hand in the air, you can see where the line is. And yeah, so it's a shame because Caulfield, it was a nice goal by him. It would have been a 2-goal game. And you really felt like, Caulfield's starting to figure this out. So goalie pull with 4 minutes left, because sure, why not? Wilson hits the empty net at 18:45. Snively had a chance to get the hat trick, passed it to Wilson instead because he felt Wilson was the smarter play. So good, unselfish play by Snively, and Washington wins 5-2. They go to 26-14-9. Montreal 8-31-7. They continue to just barrel their way towards record-breaking poor season by their standards. Shots 11-10 Washington in the first. Montreal controls it after that. 18-8 in the second, 16-4 in the third. Final shots 44-23 for Montreal. So if you want to look for a bright spot, that is one of them. Power plays, Washington 0 for 3, Montreal 1 for 5 hits, 32-15 for Montreal. So they out-hit them and outshot them. Samsonov, 42 saves and 44 shots. He was excellent. Primo saves 10 out of 14, and then in relief, Montembeault saves all 8 shots he faced. So for Montreal, it's another rough night, but it's kind of expected at this point. You have to find those bright spots. To me, it was the fact they outshoot the opponent. They had better special teams, and Caulfield had a pretty good game. So there's reasons to be optimistic that with St. Louis behind the bench, at the very least, the team should be able to play better. That being said, I need to change boards. All right, St. Louis. So it feels like this has been coming for a while, and so we'll go through this. It's Gillies versus Binnington. So Gillies, who played for St. Louis earlier in the season and then ends up in New Jersey. Subban would score at 2 minutes and 12 seconds to give Gillies the lead on Binnington. The shots, in fact, were 4-0 for the Devils at 3 minutes. It was a flat start by the St. Louis Blues, which has happened this year. They usually dig their way out of these. Devils get a power play. Smith has a screenshot that's saved. That power play's killed off. Blues press at 6 minutes, but they don't have any shots to this point in the game. None. Buchnevich with the net feed, that's blocked. The Blues play was picking up a bit in the second half. I think they only had one shot in the first half of the period, but McLeod makes it 2-0 from Severson at 15:07. However, St. Louis, who had had some momentum before, Kostin scores from Sundqvist and Krug at 15:37. So that makes it 2-1. The Devils get a power play, though, with 32 seconds left in the period. So we go to the second period with the Devils on a power play, but it becomes a 4-on-4. Then the Blues have a power play. It all gets killed off. The brief power play that St. Louis had doesn't manage any shots. The special teams tonight, the power plays didn't end up looking great. Pressed by the Blues at 4.5 minutes. Kyrou was denied from in close, and then Shen ties it. He scores from Parayko and O'Reilly at 5:13. Shots are 6-2 for the Blues at 9 minutes. So they've tied the game. They're out shooting New Jersey. They're out chancing them. Looks like they've avoided a dreaded trap. There's a press by the Blues with 5.5 minutes left, and Falk scores. They had to check the replay on this. Initially, it was waved off, but it's a goal. It does cross the line. At 15:05, Falk gives St. Louis the lead. So again, they'd been in control for a lot of that period, and yeah, the 1:56 left, the Devils get a power play. So again, in the last 2 minutes, but we get a minute and 8 of 4-on-4. So the power play doesn't last. And so we go to the third period. The Devils finish off killing the rest of their penalty to make everything 5-on-5. Sharon Govich has a rush chance that wouldn't go. Kyrou with a rush as well, fires wide. Falk has a chance that's saved and held. Some scrummy play going on, but Gertson's involved, and Mason Gertson will definitely cause some of that to happen. Delay a game call then. Blues get a power play, and it was really obvious that he just scooped it over the glass. You've got to call that, right? Kyrou has a shot that's blocked. That power play was killed off. Mercer with a net feed. The Blues cleared out. Tatar fires one high. The Blues had a rush, but when New Jersey gets the next rush, they bury it. It's Sharon Govich from Heischer and Smith at 9:08. And then at 11:34, all of a sudden, New Jersey has a lead. It's Heischer from Subban and Sharon Govich at 11:34. And it was a 4-on-4 goal, as there was 2 minutes of 4-on-4 that was going on. And so, yeah, when you got 4-on-4, you got a little extra ice. They get that rush. They get it in the net. With 5:36 left, St. Louis gets power play. The Devils killed that off. Big kill, and then shortly after it's done, VC scores from Siegenthaler and Zacha at 17:40. So now they're behind by a few. They need some help, and Shen gets that for them from Buchnevich at 18:17. So now they're down by 1 again. So you pull the goaltender, right? With the goaltender pulled, Boquist scores from Severson at 18:41. They pull the goaltender again, down by 2. And Heischer hits the empty net from Sharon Govich at 19:50. So Sharon Govich with 3 points in the third period. Nice to see his point total starting to go up. Heischer with a couple of goals in this one. And New Jersey comes through with a win in St. Louis, 7-4. 17-26-5 is the record now. St. Louis 26-14-5. And yeah, so for St. Louis, this is a tough one. The shots were 10-5 New Jersey in the first, 14-9 in favor of St. Louis in the second, 12-10 St. Louis in the third. So there were 3 goals that went in out of the 8 shots with a goalie in net, and then 2 on the empty net to make it 5 goals on 10 shots in the third. But again, 2 of those are empty netters. Power plays, New Jersey 0 for 3, St. Louis 0 for 5. The hits, 25-4 for St. Louis. So 4 hits by New Jersey. Not a very physical game. Gillies, 27 saves on 31 shots. Binnington saves 22 out of 27. Continue the discussion of Binnington versus Husso. This is another example. And for St. Louis, it is unusual that they have a 3-2 lead going into the third and they lose at home. It is very strange to see them do that. I think they were like 17-1 going into the third with a lead, something like that. And yeah, this one's tough. Craig Berube was not happy by the end of it. Might be some bag skates coming for St. Louis. We shall see. All right, moving along. Calgary. So this was a fun game. And again, you know, as a fan of the Canucks, I love watching games between 2 Canadian teams where I don't have any emotional investment either way. And just watch them go out there and just beat each other up. It's fun. So tonight it was Campbell versus Markstrom. Kerfoot had a turnover chance that was saved. Leafs get a power play. That was unsuccessful. The shots are 7-5 for the Flames at 6 minutes. There was a lot of shots for Calgary early on. It would not stay that way, though. So the Flames get a power play. It becomes a 5-on-3. The Leafs kill it off. So technically, you know, when you kill off a 5-on-3, it should switch the momentum, and it kind of did. Marner's denied and close on a tip chance. The Flames get another power play, but a really strong penalty kill by the Leafs limits Calgary to 0 shots on that power play. 1:39 left. Gloves kind of fly and get punchy. Zadorov with a hit on Kasha that caused it. Knocks off Kasha's helmet. Kasha leaves the ice, and so you worry immediately about concussion. It was a clean hit by Zadorov, though. So Calgary gets the 4th power play of the period out of that. Oddly enough, they only had 5 in the entire game, but that's killed off. So we go to the second period. Leafs finish the kill. Nylander hits the side of the net. The Leafs press. They're kept to the outside. Monahan with a tip that's saved. And you get soup chants because there was a lot of go Leafs go chants going on as well, which is common in any Canadian rink when you're playing against Toronto. Sandin opens the scoring from Nylander and Tavares at 3:49. And it was a really strong shift by the Leafs that led to the goal. So they're up 1-0. They're out playing Calgary at this point. And it looks like, hey, maybe they're ready to you know, come out with a win on the road, which is what they've been doing a lot lately. But Mangiapane scores from Backlund at 4:13. So this is part of what I've talked about when it comes to Mangiapane with the Flames. Bringing that game they play on the road home. They've started doing that, and Mangiapane has started putting the puck in the net at home as well. So these are really good indicators that Calgary's, you know, ready to make a run at first in the division and start looking at the teams that are ahead of them in the West in general. And, you know, I don't think they catch Colorado, but hey, stranger things have happened. So there's a power play for the Leafs. There was a shorthanded chance for Lewis that kills some time. Matthews can't bury one. Engvall has a chance that's saved and held, so they kill that penalty off. Shillington with a rush chance that was saved. The Leafs press with 8 minutes left, but Hanifin makes it 2-1 for Calgary from Anderson and Tkachuk at 13:03. And this is where things really start to open up. 32 seconds later, Shillington scores from Hanifin and Backlund. So 13:35 that makes it 3-1. I've been a big fan of Shillington's for a long time. I'm really glad to see him having a good year. Another set play on the face-off. So both the Hanifin and Shillington goals were set plays off of a face-off win in the offensive zone. Toronto gets a power play. Lindholm scores from Gaudreau and Shillington at 15:54. So, it was a Toronto turnover that led to... Anyways, so, yeah, it's 4-1 for Calgary after 2 periods. Third period, Backlund with a rush chance that's saved, and then at 1:16, Anderson scores from Tkachuk on what was a perfect shot. The Flames are then pressing for another. However, Toronto starts to turn that momentum in their favor. Bunting scores from Matthews and Liljegren at 5:06. Matthews then has a net drive. That's blocked out. The Leafs net crash. That draws a crowd. Another pushy time after a Markstrom save. There's a post for Matthews. The Leafs press. But in the end, they're not able to get any more goals. Your final score is 5-2 in favor of the Calgary Flames. And yeah, pretty big night for Calgary, and showing Toronto, who are now 30-11-3, that they're a contender. At least by tonight's standard, right? Calgary 25-13-6 with the win. Shots in this favor Toronto the whole way. 18-11 in the first, 14-9 in the second, 16-6 in the third. Final shots 48-26 Toronto. So Markstrom had a huge role in this game. He absolutely first star. I haven't even looked at the stars, but he has to be the first star. Power plays, Toronto 0 for 3, Calgary 1 for 5. Hits 18-7 Calgary. Campbell saves 21 out of 26. So one narrative that's been out there with Campbell before the winning streak got into where it is, coming into tonight, Campbell's numbers having been down. So again, they're going to have to manage his workload in the second half of the season, as compressed as this schedule is. Markstrom, 46 saves on 48 shots. Just another fantastic night for Markstrom. And that's after last night's shutout. So really, Markstrom playing quite well. And yeah, back-to-back big games for him. So, yeah, and Toronto moves up on that board right there. All right, or Calgary moves up on that board right there. People know which board I'm pointing at. All right, next up, last up for the night, Colorado and Tampa. If this is a prelude for a Stanley Cup final, if we end up getting this as a Stanley Cup final, we will be spoiled as hockey fans. So it's Vasilevsky versus Kemper in this one. Jack Johnson had a drive that was saved early, and they rave a lot about Jack Johnson early on in this game, and rightfully so. He's fit in very well with Colorado. Strong start for the Avs. Rantanen was denied, and then with what was already their 6th shot at 2 minutes and 43 seconds, Landeskog hits the 20-goal mark from Rantanen and Taves. So it's 1-0 there. Makar was then denied. The Avs draw a power play. We get 13 seconds, then a 4-on-4 towards the end of it. The Bolts get a power play. But during that 13 seconds of 4-on-4, just before it's done, Taves scores a 4-on-4 goal from Kadri and Eric Johnson at 6:16. So, yeah, Colorado was on it early. Avs killed the rest off as the Bolts power play commenced right after that. Vasilevsky denies Taves, but then just past the halfway mark at 10:45, it's Kucherov from point, makes it 2-1. That was the 7th shot of the game for Tampa. Not bad. The Avs already had 17 shots in 10 minutes and 45 seconds of the game. That's a little bit too many. So the Avs get a power play. That was killed off. Makar takes an awkward fall, but he was okay. Awkward fall behind the net and all that. That's going to make Avs fans say, don't do that. Newhook was denied. The puck deflects out. Stamkos is then denied in the final minute. So we go to the second period with it 2-1 in favor of Colorado. Avs get an early power play. It becomes a 4-on-4. And during said 4-on-4, for the second time in the game, Colorado gets the goal. It's Nichushkin from Burakovsky at 1:56. Really nice fast break goal. And again, it shows Nichushkin has just been great for Colorado, and his importance keeps climbing. The shots are 2 apiece at 5.5 minutes. The Avs looked like they had scored, or did Vasilevsky grab it? You could not see the puck completely across the line. And this is where I got a kick out of it. So the Bolts end up getting a power play shortly thereafter. Joe Sakic is being interviewed during basically this entire part of the game. And I've talked about how guys being interviewed during the game can be aggravating. This is how you do it right. So Sakic's being interviewed. They're still paying attention to the game. They're still talking about it. And Sakic's giving his insight on players and plays as they're going on. And what was great was that Vasilevsky gets the puck, and you can hear the announcers like, well, I don't know. And Sakic immediately says, yeah, you can't tell whether that was in or not, so it's not going to be a goal. Just, that's it. Shut it right down, and I thought it was great. It was like, this is how, like, you want to have an interview during the play? Fine. Pay attention to the play, call the play, and honestly, if he wasn't a general manager, I think Sakic could make a good color announcer. But hey. So that was fun. Then we get a shorthanded blast from Makar. That was saved. And the Avs had some good play. But then on a counterattack, point scores from Sergachev at 15:54. So suddenly it's 3-2. And really, honestly, from this point forward, the game was just absolutely great. Nichushkin couldn't bury one in close. Kadri has a chance that's saved and held on to. Kemper denied Kucherov. The Bolts would press, but we come out of the second period 3-2. And again, Darcy Kemper is quietly putting together an excellent season after what was a kind of rough start. Third period, Joseph has a rush chance saved. Things get scrummy behind the Bolts net not long after that. Pass to Kucherov was blocked. Makar to Kadri gets knocked away. Otherwise, Kadri could have buried that. Avs were controlling most of the first 6 minutes. We then get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Well, the Avs have scored twice 4-on-4. And O'Connor has a net drive. Vasilevsky holds on to that. Nichushkin with a rush. He fires wide with 3:14 left. Only down by 1. Cooper decides, I'm pulling the goalie. It's a bold strategy. And honestly, it kind of works out. They do not allow an empty net goal. Rantanen with his empty net goal try. That was blocked out. 1:49 left. The Avs ice it. Colton misses one wide with 34.4 seconds left. The Avs ice it again. On the next stoppage at 16.3 seconds left, the Bolts call a timeout to try to draw up a play. In the end, they just can't quite tie it. Your score's 3-2 for Colorado. They go to 33-8-4. And for Tampa, they drop to 30-11-6. The shots in this one, 24-10 Colorado in the first. That's a lot of shots. 12 apiece in the second and 16-11 Tampa in the third. Final shots, 47-38 for Colorado. Again, if this was a Stanley Cup final, we will be very blessed hockey fans to watch a lot of shots, some pretty strong highlight reel plays, and both teams, if healthy, can put on quite the entertaining game. Power plays, both teams 0 for 3. Hits, 23-18 for Colorado. Vasilevsky, 44 saves on 47 shots. Kemper, 35 saves on 37 shots. And there you go. Colorado wins. They're still first place. And yeah, if this is an indicator for how strong they could be in the second half of the season, Colorado's going to be tough to beat. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.